Hi, everyone. My name is Giovanna, and I am the founder of Flow State Financials. Hey, Kevin, I know you're here. We offer bookkeeping and accounting services for entrepreneurs and small businesses, as well as personal financial wellness for individuals. So let's talk about money. A little about me, I've been in accounting for 8 years. I'm also a certified financial educator, and I've opened 2 businesses. This is my yoga studio back in 2019. Not all sunshine and rainbows, though. I have been part of big tech layoffs and lost my first business due to the impacts of COVID. And when I look back on these moments, I realize that having healthy money habits and security really got me through these tough times. So I think when some people think about being rich, words like this might come to mind. But for me, it has always been about this. And I really believe that a financial education is one of the best gifts that you can give yourself. So today, I'm excited to present Be the CFO of your life, how to handle your personal finances like a business. This is what we will cover, so let's get into it. All right, every business tracks their numbers. That is literally why there are accountants, right? So why shouldn't we? And I can't be an accountant and not talk about financial statements. There are many that we analyze, but these are 3 key ones, so let's dig into them a little bit. All right, balance sheet. Based on a very simple equation, assets equals liabilities plus equity. You can also rewrite this to be assets minus liabilities equals equity. So to put this in more personal terms, assets minus liabilities equals our net worth. So what are these things? Here are some examples, but high level: assets, everything that you own with an N. Liabilities, everything that you owe with an E. And everything left over is your net worth. And I want to pause here to make it very clear that your net worth does not equal your self-worth. This is where I like to start with people, and it can be really disheartening or discouraging to maybe even see a negative net worth. Maybe you are digging your way out of big student loans, and it's really important to remember that debt doesn't make you a good or bad person, and your value as a human being will never be calculated in a spreadsheet. If you think about life as this epic road trip, knowing our net worth is just like having a starting point. And then our income statement is where we get to build out the map. So, income statement. Revenue minus expenses equals profit, or sometimes loss. To make this more personal, income minus expenses equals what I like to call expansion. So income, kind of obvious, what you make in your W-2, maybe freelance work, side hustles, if you own a business, have cash flowing assets, etc. And then I like to think about expenses in 2 categories. So you have essentials, everything that you need to just live a comfortable and safe life. And then you have enjoyment, and that is the fun stuff that makes life worth living. And the really cool thing is that looks different for all of us. So everything left over is what I like to call expansion, and that is where the magic happens. It's where you get to pay off your debt, save for your future goals or security, and invest to build wealth and buy yourself freedom and time. But in order to get there, we need to know our numbers. So businesses have budgets, and I have to tell you that we do too. There are so many methods out there, zero-based, envelope method, values-based budgeting. So the key is to just find what works for you and will be sustainable long-term. And think of it less as being restrictive and more about being strategic about where you want your money to go. Because I promise your future self will thank you. All right, final statement, cash flow. This is how and when your money is actually flowing in and out. And this is really important because cash prevents us from having to rely on debt. I never want you to have to worry about rent being due before payday or being unable to cover an unexpected expense. So this is one of my favorite books, Atomic Habits, and the author James Clear says to create an environment where doing the right thing is as easy as possible. And in personal finance, the best way to do that is with automation. We are very lucky to live in a time where we have a lot of tools that help us save and invest automatically without even having to think about it. So I don't have time to dive into all of them now, but quick little plug, I do have a silly little YouTube channel where I talk about some of them. So if you want to learn more, you can check that out. All right, moving on. Businesses grow and evolve over time, and we should too. Google didn't stop with the search bar, right? They expanded into emails, maps, meetings, and more. So in the same way, our financial goals and priorities can evolve over time. So maybe right now you are hyper-focused on paying down credit card debt or building an emergency fund. But later it might be making your first investments or maybe launching a business. So the key is that your strategies and priorities may change, but the commitment to yourself does not. And finally, companies have mission statements, and I really believe that we all should too. So I invite you to ask yourself, what kind of life are you building? And what truly matters to you when you just remove all of the outside noise? And as you start to look at your numbers, you can ask, does your spending reflect these values? Because when we treat our personal finances like a business, we move from reacting to leading and from guessing to guiding. And it certainly does not have to be perfect. You will evolve along the way, but you do need a purpose, a process, and the belief that your time and money are worth managing well, because your future self will be so, so grateful for the actions that you take today. Thank you so much. Here's my info if you want to stay connected.
Great job.
Thank you.